I am Professor Fred Ogola. I'm one of the conveners for Concerned Citizens Movement. Today, I want to speak to you about the message that we are getting from this revolution which has taken place. The revolution which has taken place is what I would call the third liberation. The first liberation was getting independence, was fought by the Mau veterans. The second liberation was fought by the likes of Raila Odinga, the likes of GM Kariuki, name them, you can call them. Those ones are people who fought for the constitutional reforms. Even the church leaders are there, like Bishop Njenga, you can call them. They fought for liberation for our country. Many people can be named there. James Orengo, there are many people who fought there. Paul Mwite, there are very many people who fought for the second liberation to ensure we have a constitution that can govern our country. Now we had been thinking about how to come out with economic liberation, but so many theories came by, but actually the Gen Zs have actually led from the front with the so-called economic liberation, which is the third liberation, and it is going on, and it will go on, and we shall win. So I want to explain to the president that when we said, and when Gen Zs has been saying, sending the message that we need to have what's called government expenditure reduction. We have talked about reducing the government expenditure, which will lead to reduction in taxation, which is really creating poverty in the country, killing productivity of our economy, and killing business in our country, which should be enhanced by the issue of budget cuts. I want to tell Mr. President that cutting those budgets are not ends in themselves. What do I mean? We are not just feeling jealous that you people are living in a life of opulence. What we are looking for is that there are some parts of the economy which is suffering, there are some demography which are suffering, there are people who are really dying of hunger, poverty, and the rest. So we said that when you have a budget of 4.2 trillion and you said you cannot create a single job and you cannot pay doctors, you cannot pay teachers, looks sinful. Today I was talking to a newspaper vendor and I told him, since these people talked about the 4.2 trillion, have you seen any uptake in the consumption of newspaper, people buying newspaper? I talked to another woman who sells second-hand shoes along Tomboya Street last week, and she does not feel it. People selling her second-hand clothes, people who are in the kiosks selling mandazi, chapati, selling beans, maize, all these people who are businessmen, are they feeling it? Even if you ask supermarkets, are they feeling that the budget has been read? Can we ever have a budget when it is read, everybody in the economy feels the impact of the budget? So that's what we meant. So just to tell you, Kenyans, when they said we need to cut the government expenditure, reduce taxation, and have a budget cut, what they meant is that that money should go elsewhere. They don't mean that money should not be spent if it's there. They want what is called enhanced livelihoods. They want to have a guaranteed comfort. They want to have a secure future. And when I look at those numbers, I've just seen here that the spouses of the president, that's First Lady, and the spouse of Gachagua, who is the second lady, if you add their total budget, which was around 1.2 billion shillings budget for them. Now the president has said those offices have been removed, therefore withdrawn. Therefore, we are looking for where is that money going. I also look at the renovation of State House and that of Gachagua's office. State House renovation was supposed to take 900 million shillings. Gachagua's renovation of his house, he said he wanted to renovate his house. He wanted to renovate his office and buy a new house. That was going to cost a total of 1.2 billion shillings. So if I add all those budget cuts which have been stated by the Gen Zs and also the protesters in general, because remember, protesters are not only the Gen Zs. We have the Gen Zs there, we have Gen Xers there, we have the millennials there. And they have come together as a country. They're leading, but everybody else can join so that they can fight this war and win it together. We are seeing a total of 3.3 billion shillings, which if these cuts are done, we don't know where that money is going. So what we're asking the president, tell us, where are you taking that money after you accepted you are withdrawing all those things from the budget? One, where is affected? teachers demanding, JCC teachers are demanding that you employ 46,000 teachers. And I've just seen that figure. If you add together, that figure will be something like 900 million shillings. If you look at the ones that we want to talk about, doctors were demanding 1.1 billion shillings in pending salaries. So you can sort that out with a single pen. And if you look in total, we also saw the demands from the lab techs. Please, you use these 3.3 billion shillings, which are now floating after we withdraw the office of the spouses. You are removing unnecessary innovation which needs to take place. Put this money in these people, and that's what we're asking. If we're not asking you just to say, I've removed this, I removed that. We want to tell you, where is it going? Remember, Kenyans feel very sad. When you tell us that you're having a budget of 4.2 trillion shillings, some of us don't even know how many zeros are in a trillion. And some of us are going to bed hungry while we are hearing 4.2 trillion. Can budget ever be impactful to economy? That's what we're asking. So we're not asking just for you to remove them. We're asking you remove them and allocate there. Nimetoa hapa, nimeweka hapa. Si ati nimetoa. So let me just try to weigh into what is most important at this time. What is important about this time? We need a country to reflect about the kind of leadership we should be having. But I also don't want us to become very, very much myopic to think that we lack leaders. There is no scarcity of leaders. There are so many people who can be leaders. Even myself, I'm a leader. Even you listening to me, you are a leader in your own right. So there's no scarcity of leaders in Kenya. And let us not even look further by thinking that we are lacking scarcity so that it can be led by the people leading us at the moment. If you look at the qualification of some of the leaders that we're having on top there in government, they do not even qualify to even be given some position. Some of them, can you make them become a manager of your dairy cow farm? Can you make them become managers of a farm? Can they become a manager of a kiosk? But some of us who have been able to manage those kiosks, some of us who have managed those farms, some of us who have managed some businesses, they can do well in government. I heard William Ruto said during his State of the Nation roundtable with the media saying his first job was a member of parliament. So which kind of member of parliament did he make if that was his first job? How can we not be, as young people, have our first job as CS or PS? If his first job was a member of parliament, can't we even be seen to do some jobs in his government that can be instrumental? So what we are looking for here are simple things. And the qualification for leadership in Kenya for governance is simple, not complicated. One thing, can they offer pragmatic solutions? Pragmatic solutions are not solutions by telling Kenyans, I'll look for you jobs abroad. I'll take policemen to Haiti to get employed. I will be able to take you to work as a nurse in Germany. No, pragmatic solutions are simple. Don't tell us you have talked with Hollywood. They're coming separately. Those are complex solutions. Pragmatic solutions are simple like this. Lower taxations. Once you lower taxations, there will be a lot of economic activity happening in Kenya. Companies in the private sector will employ more Kenyans. We don't have to do magic. Kibaki did a simple thing. Just lower taxes. Second thing, he allowed companies, banks in Kenya to lend money to entrepreneurs in Kenya. Kenyans entrepreneurs. Kenyans are not asking you to feed them. They're asking you to bring an enabling environment so that their businesses can thrive, so that they can make money. They're not asking you to be able to take their kids to school. They're asking you to create an enabling environment for them to do legitimate businesses that are profitable enough to take care of them. For example, hotel industry, 29 levies and taxes, too much. Export business, 39 levies and taxes are not working. KEBS cannot guarantee any manufacturer who wants to export their stuff outside the country. So those are just, how can KEBS have reputation? So we're asking simple pragmatic solutions to our economic problem. You look at Singapore has the cheapest government, the lowest spending government, lowest taxes, and therefore people are living from Scotland from UK to set up business in Singapore. Singapore, a very small country, is a finance center. Kenya is a big country. We cannot be a finance center because the corruption we have in this country cannot allow you to run a financial sector. The ease of doing business in Kenya is the worst in Africa. We are only better than South Sudan. How can a Kenya, one of the most promising country in Africa, become the worst on ease of doing business? So we just want practical economic solutions that can solve our problem. Also, we need a meritocracy. We need you to get people in government who are there because of merit, not because they gave you money to campaign, not because that they come nearest to your village, not because that they are your friends for a long time, you don't want to disappoint them, not because they have followers. Just run the government on merit. Meritocracy is what made Kibaki's government do very well. From a negative 8% growth to 7.8% growth. That's where we were. It was just simple meritocracy and simple pragmatism. And then lastly, we need honesty in government. We need you to have people who are there, who are honest in the sense that they are serving a government because they want to serve people of Kenya, not because they want to become rich. What I mean by this is that all your CSS, immediately you nominated them, they've already been congratulated even before they passed through parliament, and then they passed anyway. How can a parliament pass those CSS, yet they are now telling us that they are with us? Look at your CSS. Nearly each and every one of them has something questionable about them. Are they honest people? We are looking for a government when one day you appoint people to work in your government and they say no. They say no because either they believe they are not worthy, they cannot serve the government because they have no credibility, they have no competence, they have no qualification, or maybe they don't believe that the vision you are holding or bottom-up economic transformation agenda won't work there. We are looking for a time when everyone fears working for government because of the consequences they may face if they fail. But we cannot have a government where everybody wants to work in that government, not because they have something to offer, but they know there's a lot to steal from the government. When that time comes, then we shall have been able to become very pragmatic and bring honest and I call meritocratic leadership. Before that, everybody wants to become a politician, not because they have a vision, it's just because they believe there's money to steal. Everybody will want to work in government not because they are qualified, just because they believe there's job security and also someone can steal and make money out of their normal salary. So, Mr. President, that's what we are looking at as the vision for the country. It's called for a fundamental change, a paradigm shift, looking at the leadership of this country and understanding that Kenya also needs to have its own dream. The Kenyan dream has been written a lot in secession papers. This is the time to resurrect them and make them reality.